Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. This video today is going to be a tag video. And I happen to absolutely love tag videos because I feel like it's a great way to ask interesting questions that usually produce really interesting answers that are so much more out of the box than your typical what book did you read? Did you like it? What did you like about it? But this one is actually on a much more personal, like get to know you type of note. It is the 25 questions tag, and I was tagged by Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. So I will link both of their videos below so that you can kind of, like I said, that's the whole point of these, is to get to know people, and this tag video lends itself perfectly to that idea. So I'm going to put their videos below because I thought Mike's video was really interesting. I watched Alan's as well, thought it was super cool. I feel like I know both of those guys even better now, but I tried not to think about their answers too much because I didn't want them to influence mine. Because a couple of times I was watching their videos and I was thinking, that's a good one, or oh, I should say that. Don't do that. So I have not thought about these questions very much at all, and that's on purpose because I wanted this to be off the cuff and my actual natural answers. So let's jump in with the first question. And this is pretty straightforward. It's going to ask me a question and I'm just going to give you guys an honest answer. The first question is, what is your channel about? And this is a booktube channel. So it's kind of a joke amongst me and some friends that in the beginning I was hesitant to do this. So I was like, I'm just going to make one video just for fun. And then I made another, and then I made another. And I said, well, I'm not a booktube channel necessarily, but it's been a year and I've only made videos about books. So I'm pretty sure this is a booktube channel, but I am open to the idea of in the future, maybe expanding the topics I talk about. But really that's going to be up to you guys because I'm really grateful for all the subscribers I have. And I don't want to switch gears so much so they think this is not what I subscribed for. This is not what I signed up for. But if I have interests that I'm sure we'll talk about later here that are interesting to you, I love talking about anything. So if you guys want to hear me talk about TV, anime, essential oils, crystal, cloth diapering your babies, like these are all things that I'm like some kind of strange expert on that I love talking about. So who knows, maybe in the future it'll change gears some, but as of now it is a booktube channel. How old am I? Wow, it's coming straight out the gate. I am 35 and proud of it. So it's been kind of a strange transition from feeling like I'm always the youngest person in the room, because that was me for a long time in my professional life. I was always the youngest person in the room, to now all of a sudden, like, I'm kind of one of the moms, like I'm one of the old people. But it's true, I've heard old people my whole life say that like you don't really age up here, but your body just kind of starts to betray you. I'm beginning to experience these things. I still feel like I'm 17 years old in so many ways, but for the most part, starting to get a little old. It's happening. It's real. What is your relationship status? I am married. I've been with my husband since January 2004, and I was 17 years old. We've been together ever since. Did you go to college, and what is your occupation? I did go to college. I did not finish my bachelor's degree. I have an absolutely useless associate's degree. But my career up until I became a stay-at-home mom was in dentistry. I was in dentistry for almost 10 years in one form or another. And then since then, I am a distributor for Young Living essential oils. Essential oils, holistic wellness, and teaching people how to live a non-toxic life, but in a not weird way. Like that's kind of one of my biggest passions. So I'm really, really grateful to be able to do that. Where are you from and where do you live? So I am from Oklahoma. I am an Okie at heart, but I live in Missouri and we've lived here for about 8 years. And honestly, all things considered, I really love it. Like we live in the country. We live in the absolute middle of nowhere. I think my closest Starbucks is just under 1 hour from my house. So we live in the absolute middle of nowhere, but for the most part, I quite enjoy it. There are things, mostly amenities, that I miss about being closer to big cities, but I do like the privacy and the quietness that comes with living in the country. Number 6 says, looking back, what would you have told your 10-year-old self? I think one of my biggest regrets in life, and something that I would caution the younger me to avoid doing, is constantly looking towards the future in a way that can be kind of detrimental. So never living in the moment was something I struggled with Honestly, up until the last couple of years, I've really identified that this was a problem within myself and have made some adjustments. But constantly looking forward to the next big thing. It's good to be goal-oriented, future-oriented, but only if it doesn't prevent you from enjoying and appreciating what you have in the moment. So for most of my life, I was always thinking like, oh, like when I'm in high school, like then everything will be great. Or once I have a boyfriend, everything will be amazing. Once I get married, that's what I'm looking forward to. If I could just have a baby and I'd be a mom, and then everything would be different. And next thing you know, you look back on the last year, or the last 10 years, and all you've ever done is just wish it all away. And so that's something that I do have regrets about in life, but I'm thankful that I identified this within myself early enough that I can work on that moving forward and still have a life that's future oriented, goal focused, but not, not just, you gotta appreciate what you have when you have it, because most of the time, like, you look back and go, man, that was good. I wish I would have appreciated that more. Tell us about your family. I'm happy to answer this because I have just like the best, coolest, most amazing family ever. So I have 3 kids. Lucy is 10, Samuel is almost 8, and Jack is 6. And they are, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just really, really, really fortunate to have amazing, very, very cool kids. My daughter Lucy is an avid reader. She just won an award for the elementary school for reading like 3,000 pages in the last quarter, which I think is really cool. But she always has her nose in a book. She loves Harry Potter. She's super, super smart. She was Gandalf for Halloween, like her own choice. Coolest kid. Samuel is amazing. He's into Legos. He is my Star Wars aficionado. So like, as a nerdy geek mom, my dreams are coming true that I have corrupted my children to love the same things I love. And then Jack, the little one, he's actually very, very into chess. He blew us all away with his ability to understand this game and become really, really good at it. And now it's a passion of him, and we're all very supportive of it. So my kids are the coolest, and of course they're the worst also, because like, let's just be honest, as parents, your kids are the best part of your life. You would die without them, but some days you're just like, why are you here? So anyway, my kids are amazing. And as far as family goes, like, I won the lottery. I've been married. I've been with my husband since I was 17. So his family is my family. I'm fortunate enough to have amazing in-laws. And I just don't relate on any level to those horror stories about like evil stepmoms or evil mother-in-laws. That's just not my story. I'm fortunate. Matt has an amazing family, and they have taken me in as well. And then my own family, I'm the oldest of 5, and my siblings, all 5 of them, are my best friends. We talk almost every day. We're having a blast raising our kids together. And my mom and my dad, guys, like, these are my people, and they're my friends, and it makes me sad when I hear about people who don't have this relationship with their family, because if I didn't have my family, like, I wouldn't really have any friends. So I have an amazing family, and thanks for asking. I love talking about and spotlighting my family anytime I have the chance. Number 8, what is your favorite holiday? Easily Halloween. I love everything about Halloween. I'm a spooky bitch. I love it. Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Halloween movie. It's also my favorite Christmas movie. There's something that's just incredibly magical about the idea of a community coming together and everybody doing the same thing for a night. The trick or treat, the decorations, the handing out of candy. I love the ritual of it all. And I love being somebody different for an evening. I love dressing up. And I know Mike said this in his video, so I don't want to repeat his answer, but it's one of those holidays that has the opposite effect of growing up. So many holidays, when you grow up, they become stressful. It becomes like something you feel obligated to do. Even with as much as I love Christmas, you get to the point where you're like, you have gifts to buy, you have all these decorations, and it's fun to have them up, but it's terrible setting them up and breaking them down, and it's so much pressure surrounding Christmas. Halloween doesn't have any of that. Like, it's just for the sheer enjoyment, and it just becomes more and more magical as your kids get more and more into it. So many holidays kind of lose their appeal or their charm as you get older, because that's just what happens to magic when you get older sometimes. But not with Halloween. It just gets better and better being a mom. So I absolutely love Halloween. All right, you have no budget. What is your dream vacation? Easy, No questions asked, absolutely New Zealand to do the Lord of the Rings experience, the big walkabout. Like, I'm not a very outdoorsy person, and I know that's an outdoorsy experience, but for that experience and to see those things and do all that stuff, I would absolutely tough it up and be an outdoors person. And just in general, New Zealand is an incredible, incredible place that's just beautiful and interesting, and I would love to do that. Some other things I would love to do would be like a Game of Thrones experience. Basically any vacation that I can correlate to a fantasy book that I've read, I want to do all of those. But beyond a fantasy type vacation, I'm easy. Like, I'm a beach girl. Like, give me white sand and clear water and a drink with an umbrella in it, and I'm as happy as a clam. So whether that means something on the Gulf Coast in Florida, or if it's like Fiji, I'm interested. I love beach vacations. What is your biggest pet peeve? Oh man, this could be a video because I could name 1,000 things that people do that I think is just outright inconsiderate. And that's what it all comes back down to me. Things that people do that are just inconsiderate for no reason. I can't stand it. But I would say my biggest one is being late. Like, people who are habitually late, and then they just write it off like it's a personality trait. And they're like, well, you know me, I'm always late. No, you could be on time if you wanted to, but you don't care about, you don't value my time. And that's just what it says to me. Is like, you're somebody that doesn't value my time. And I tend to run late a lot. And so I'm very, very hyper aware of it because I can't stand it when people do this to me. And so I'm always like making sure that I'm not making anyone else feel that way. And sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes you're late, but I don't want to be that person that's just, oh, I'm so hilarious because I'm always late. That's not funny. It's just rude. All right. What book changed your life? Ooh. What I'm going to pick is I'm going to pick A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, book 1 of A Song of Ice and Fire. Growing up, I loved reading. I read Lord of the Rings. I am a 35-year-old elder millennial, so obviously I'm super into Harry Potter. I read these things. I liked them, but it wasn't until my brother asked me to read this book with him that I became an avid fantasy reader. And the reason I did it is because this was my middle brother, and middle child syndrome is a thing. And he was kind of the one that I didn't have as strong a relationship with him. Like, we got along great. We had fun whenever we were together, but we didn't really have a thing that we had in common. And so he asked me to read these books before I watched the show, and I did not. And then I started watching the show with him, and it was a great experience for us. And then when I finally read the book, that just took everything to a whole nother level. Like, it took me to a whole nother level with my love for the genre and my love for that series, my appreciation for the show. It took everything to the next level, but it also was really special for me and my brother to have that together. And now that's what we do. We talk about fantasy books together, and it's all because of that one. Like, hey, like, I don't know, but we like this show. Would you like to read the books with me? Like, that was a big step for us, and our relationship has been amazing ever since then. So that book did change my life because it really gave me a relationship with my brother. Okay, what is a simple invention that has improved the world? Man, that's a tough one because I can think of like 1,000 like really obvious answers. I'm going to go with air conditioning because, like I said, I am not an outdoorsy person, and I love being comfortable. And air conditioning to me is the epitome of being comfortable because I don't like cold weather, like really cold weather, but at least you can always put more clothes on. You can always bundle up. There are things you can do to warm yourself up, but you can only take so many layers of clothes off before it's illegal. And I cannot stand being hot. I don't like sleeping when I'm warm. I just cannot stand being uncomfortably hot. So absolutely air conditioning. Air conditioning is life. Okay, number 13 says, favorite movies and TV shows. Oh boy. It's hard for me to pick favorites because I love so much stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll do this video eventually, and maybe I can do a top 10 of each. And that will be torture for me to try to trim it down. But right here on the spot, gun to my head, my favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. I'm a big Tarantino fan, and that movie is just it's just iconic. We all quote it. Those scenes are memorable. And what makes it so impactful to me is the simplicity of it. And I think nobody does that better than Tarantino. So I love that movie. My favorite TV shows, I'd had to pick one from every genre, but Parks and Recreation is one of my favorites. I also love MASH. So like those are two like very different shows, but those are two of my favorite shows ever. And then I've recently been getting into anime, and I don't think anything's gonna top Attack on Titan. That is one of the best TV shows I've ever watched in my life. And I know this isn't anime, it's just animated, but Avatar: The Last Airbender, that is definitely one of my favorite TV shows ever. I think it has some of the best character arcs that I've ever seen through books or TV or anything. They are believable, they're earned, and I love everything about the show. Again, I could do a 20-minute video just telling you why I think you should give that show a chance, but I don't like to push animated stuff on people because I do realize that that's not for everybody. But I'm glad that I opened up to it because a lot of TV shows are really letting me down lately, but Attack on Titan, I'm so happy that I started anime because now I have this whole other world of options that from what I understand, anime does a lot of things right when it comes to storytelling, so I'm really excited to dive into that. Describe yourself using 3 fictional characters. Okay, I do not like questions like this because I feel like I think of the dumbest answers. I'm gonna go with Hermione because sometimes I have a bad habit of being very, well, actually, and well, technically this is how, so that's annoying, but some of Hermione's worst qualities I do see in myself. Artie from the First Law, because I feel like she has a similar wit to me and we both love drinking wine. And I'm going to go with Sam from Lord of the Rings just because he is one of the most loyal characters, ride or die, that's ever written. And that is a quality within myself that has been to my detriment at times. But in the end, like, loyalty is a really important trait for me. When I have a connection with somebody, I'm loyal to a fault, ride or die. And I love that in him. And I like to think that some of that is in myself as well. Okay, what is your dream job? Easy. I always wanted to be either a radio DJ or a flight attendant. And I didn't do either of those things, but those were always my dream jobs. If magic was real, what spell would you learn first? So as far as spells go, probably like Aloha Mora or something like that, because I always lose my keys. That would be like very practical. But as far as just magic in general, definitely earthbending would be my elemental magic of choice. And if we're just going with superpowers though, every time someone's like, if you could pick 3 superpowers, what would they be? What I always come up with, people end up saying like, I don't think you actually want to be a superhero. I think you are a super villain. So maybe, again, that's not the question, but as far as superpowers go, I always end up thinking of things that are kind of conniving and self-serving, but we'll go with earthbending. Is that magic? Is that a spell? Or is that just learning to communicate with the earth? I don't know. But earthbending is one of my favorite. Bending in general from Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of my favorite magic systems, but I would definitely be an earthbender. I think that's the coolest. Share your favorite childhood memory. I mentioned before that I have a great family, so I have so many amazing childhood memories. I would say probably watching musicals on VHS with my brothers. So again, we grew up in the 90s and we had a VHS collection, and that's how it was. You know, you had the movies you had and you watched them on repeat. And 2 of our favorites were My Fair Lady and West Side Story. And those are movies and songs that I can tell you every single scene, every single movie, or excuse me, every single song. We all know them. And like, it's funny because like we aren't really theater kids necessarily. Like, I haven't seen all the musicals. I haven't been to all the Broadway shows. But the ones I know and the ones I love, like, it's hardcore how much I love them. So definitely watching specifically West Side Story with my brothers is probably one of my all-time favorite childhood memories. Number 18 says, what is your favorite social media platform and why? I pretty much only do Facebook, Instagram and Discord. And Discord is my favorite. Like, that's where my friends are. That's where I've established community. And it's just a great place to not only talk about books, but just, you know, build relationships. And it's just another facet to a dynamic life. And I really appreciate that because some of my favorite friends I've met on the internet, and I love just continuing that into my love of books. If you could pick any book character who would spend a day with, who would it be? Again, this is kind of like the, which fictional character would you say you are? Now, if I had all day to think about this, I would definitely think of somebody else. But right now I haven't had anything to eat all day. I'm very hungry. So I'm picking Mac from the Dresden Files because I have a feeling that the beer he brews and that steak sandwich would just really be the way to my heart. But beyond that, I believe that there is so much more to that character than we know yet. And I really want to sit in a room with him and pick his brain. He's not much of a talker, but I think I could get it out of him. So I'm going to go with that just for the sake of it. What is your spirit animal? Definitely a dolphin. Yeah. What is an old person thing you do? Well, we've established that I'm only 35, so I'm not really that old. But I am getting to the age that I catch myself doing all kinds of old people thing. I mean, I keep a bottle of Tums on my bedside table, for crying out loud. So clearly that's an old person thing. I would say that I'm always trying to make people food and feed people. Like, that's a very grandma thing that I do, and I've always done that. I love hosting people and I love feeding people. And so I am constantly making sandwiches and plates of eggs left and right because I really, really love feeding people. So that's kind of a grandma thing I do. Do you have a hidden talent? Not really, no. I can't even whistle. No, I don't. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, I have an amazing life. I love it. And I hope I'm doing all the same things I'm doing now, but on a greater scale. So I hope I continue to make YouTube videos. I hope I continue to teach classes about essential oils. I hope I continue to, you know, play chess and watch movies with my kids. But, you know, I hope it just grows in a really natural and loving way. Like, that's all I really want for my life, is just more of the same. Share an item of significance and tell us about it. So I really hope to do a office tour soon because I have a lot of cool shit, you guys. But I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't do my homework. This is, I love crystals. I love crystals. And this is a piece of obsidian, which is indeed dragon glass, like from Game of Thrones. So I have lots of obsidian because I think it's a really, really cool stone, and it has uses, and I keep it around for a reason, but I also am always drawn to it just because of my love for Game of Thrones. So yeah, does anybody else have dragon glass sitting around their house? And now tag some people. I'm going to tag Scott in his brand new booktube channel. He's calling his channel The Bald Booktuber, which I think is hilarious and adorable, but he's brand new and I really am excited for him to start making videos. And this is a perfect one to start with because it's a literal, like, get to know you, get to know me type setup. So I am tagging him. I really hope he does this, and I hope you guys watch his video because, like I said, he's brand new and I can't wait to get to know him better through his videos. So I'm going to copy and paste the list of these questions in the comments below. So if you're a booktuber and you would like to do this video, please, please, please do it. Don't wait to be tagged. Like, if you find a tag video and you want to do it, just do it. And also, if you don't do booktube, but you are just interested to, like, tell me more about yourself, I'm interested to know. So please copy and paste it and take it to the comments. I would love for you guys to answer these questions for yourself. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.